you hang out with them, you share an intense emotional experience, creative experience with them. And so, yeah, it was fun. That's why we put the behind the scenes in there to just give a taste of what it was like on set.
Yeah, it is. We're actually, by the way, guys, we're actually live now, so the issue has been fixed. So just for anybody that's going to be tuning in right now, just tuning in for the first time, since we're back on live, we're introducing the cast from a recent short film that was done here on the island. Brilliant, by the way. Caitlin Tyson is here. Badir is here. Just for those that are just coming into the group now, Badir, can you tell us the name of the short film again?
Easy Listening.
Easy Listening. Now, yeah. For some reason, because I saw the behind the scenes when you were shooting the photos, there was a picture that came up on the web, and I thought that you actually created that elevator scene, like it was a green screen. And I was like, yo, but I know you were always a great director and you're always good at bringing something to life, but I didn't know you guys occupied an office space and actually put yourself in a real elevator. So I guess my question that I wanted to ask, like, Caitlin, what character, we know that you were playing someone that leaded a small group, but what was her character? Who is she? Like, tell us more about your character.
Well, she's a group leader and she's leading the group of Missing Something in Life group. And I think it's funny because there's just like, there's a lot of different like metaphors you can pick up because it's like, they're all literally missing the point of what's happening with their situation. She's someone who's just trying to move on to the next step, like let's get out of here, but it's like you have to handle what's going on in the moment. And there's a part in the movie where she almost just snaps at these people when she's gonna go on and be a group leader. And so, you know, people's real essence comes out when they're in stressful situations. And the same thing with like the other girls, and they all did so great. It was Wendy, Teresa, and Jessica. And we had a lot of fun. And yeah, everyone's character is like, for those three particularly, it's like they were not in the elevator at all. They're all just so deep in their own like traumas and circumstances. And that's really how it is in life a lot of the time, that you can't really be in the moment because you're so focused on what's going on internally. But once they're out, it's like, okay, she can breathe a breath of fresh air and lead this group.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what was the experience like for you, Caitlin, working with 3 other brilliant actresses?
It was great. Yeah, I love that, especially if I can do that here. Like, you know, you're home with your people and, you know, we all have a common goal and everything. And it's actually funny with the elevator because that's a lot of movie magic. But I don't know if Badir wants to tell you guys about.
Well, that's what I want to ask.
What did we do? How was that for you, that experience of?
No, that was really cool. There were some moments where we had to shoot in the actual elevator and it actually got stuck.
That's true.
That was
a crazy elevator. Remember?
Yeah.
We had footage of it going.
Yeah.
On it.
But then they actually built a set for us.
Amazing.
So he got a set, like an elevator built, and it was nice. It looked nice.
Yeah, Vetra, the producer, our producer in the film, and she helped all around. She definitely spearheaded that elevator. So she had a carpenter, Jamaican guy named Garfield, and his team created an elevator. You know, we went to A.L. Thompson's, decided the sort of background that we wanted, the silver bands to make it look like an elevator. And we shot in a warehouse at Vision Marketing. They allowed us to shoot in there one Sunday evening. So we have a fake elevator. And we had, you know, Bruce, who's the DP, we had to figure out before we shot, all right, how are we going to make it seem like it got stuck? Like in terms of the lighting and in terms of, you know, the different shots that we needed to get. And also, how do we make it kick back on when the elevator kicks back on? And so that was the fun part because I never really had to do something like that before.
And that was going to be my next question. So indeed, it was a fake elevator setup then. You guys only played the real one when you were pretending like you were entering the elevator. Is that what it was? See, that's good. That's really good, man, because I honestly, that's what I said in the beginning. I thought it was done in a fake elevator and I was going to compliment you, but now that compliment is well-deserved. What I want to ask you, Badir, is you have been doing this a while, but this was not always your career. This was not always something that you started off doing. So for the filmmakers that are listening right now, future filmmakers, young filmmakers, you do a brilliant job. You've taught yourself this. What do you think are the steps for an individual that wants to get into filmmaking?
You know, you have to make films. That's the only answer. That's the only way to do it. There's not this start a company or get a job or do this or do that. You just got to make films. I think it's important for people to understand, however, that you should be fortunate just to do a film. Like, you know, you want to make money doing a film. That's one thing, and that's an amazing thing, and that's a very rare thing. But you also have to be grateful that you even get to do a film, because they say that every film is a miracle, and I kind of feel that way.
Yeah.
So just make films.
Why do you say it's
and what
Why do you say it's a miracle?
Yeah. Why is that statement made?
Well, because it's kind of like, film is kind of like juggling 5,650 things, right? And if one of those things falls, then the rest of the 5,000 is going to come falling down with it. It's kind of how it feels, especially as you're leading up to shoot. So everything is just very precarious. There's so many moving parts that one little thing that messes up can cost the whole production. So you're very aware of that. So by the time you shot it and you have the footage, you're like, it was a miracle. Do you remember when this happened? Do you remember when that happened?
Yeah.
So that's the fun of it too, though, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, for sure. And what was the experience like? Because I know COVID has impacted all of us. Did COVID impact your guys' work in terms of finishing the film, or was the film already done beforehand?
No, I'm happy that this happened because I didn't have to plan a premiere. So just put it online. We'll just do this from now on. This online thing is the way to go.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think a lot of movies actually just went straight to online and Netflix, and that's how they kind of had to push their movie, man. Somebody asked a very good question, so I'm gonna take it to the audience really quick. What was the most difficult part about working with the director? And be honest. They want you to be honest, please, Caitlin. What was the most difficult?
I can take it.
Yeah. Okay. So working with a director is always difficult.
Wow.
In its own way. Because you come in, you do your work as an actor on the side, and you kind of have a vision of how you think things are going to go and how your character reacts. And as soon as you get there, the director's like, actually, no, this is the vision. So it's not saying that any director in particular. I've had horrible directors, which BADIR was not one of. But you know, you have horrible directors, you have creepy directors, you have the whole thing. But just coming in and then you have to be pliable as an actor. You have to be ready to change and to switch direction. You have to be teachable in the moments. So you do rehearsals with everyone, and then what your scene partners are giving you will directly impact how you take on your next line anyway. So if you're just stuck in, oh, this is how I want to say this line, then you're not really opening yourself up to like the possibilities of something being even greater than you could imagine it yourself in your bedroom with the script by yourself, you know? So when you actually just open yourself up to take the direction from your director and from your scene partners, and you can find some really like organic moments that you never thought were going to happen. Some things might be even funnier than you had thought looking at it, and something else might just land differently and hit differently. So it wasn't difficult working with BADIR at all, I think, and we had a great set and everything was like really smooth, and especially like Petra, another shout out to Petra, because she really made sure that everything was available for us on set 100%. So we had a really good time. I think you can tell watching it that it was just like really fun and easy. We all had a good time.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that
you were as honest as possible?
Huh?
Were you honest as possible?
Yeah.
Shout out to my friend Jelani who asked that question. I know he wants to expose my faults.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, Caitlin.
Well, hold on. There was one time when we did the perfect take, and then he was like, "Oh, the camera wasn't on." So
wow. I mean that's happened to us, and I think that happened to Homeland Daily tonight.
I think, honestly,
we all got to take L.
I think BADIR was frustrated with himself.
It should be on. Everything's live. It's all recorded. But yeah. So Caitlin, I'm curious because you said, you know, as sort of being the actress being open to change, how much of a role do you think a director should have in being open to change as well from his actresses? And I'm curious, if any, how much did I have?
So I think it's really hard when you're acting, you don't need to be directing yourself, because then you can never give like a real true performance that's in the moment. So there needs to be like a trust that's established with the director, that I trust that what you're seeing from behind the lens, what you're seeing on the monitors, you know, is going to translate to the audience. You know, you're not going to have me looking crazy, or, you know, like, you know, leading me down the wrong path. Like, oh yeah, that was great, moving on. You know, like you want a director that's like, no, let's do it again. Let's do it again. That wasn't it. Maybe we can change this up a little bit. Could you say it this way? Can you do whatever? You know, like, so I think that we all had like a good rapport on set and tried a lot of different things. But I think it does go both ways, but understanding like the different roles of each person on set is really important. And like you said, like having a film made is a miracle, because there's just so many things that go on and so many people that are involved with like directing, then in post editing, and then, you know, it's just, there's so many moving parts that even getting it to be a full film is something to be proud of.
Yeah, that's good. That's really
good. Definitely. And as you guys know, we're all suffering through COVID during this time, and actually the US is about to start shutting down again in Los Angeles, in Atlanta, and Miami. They're about to start shutting down again. Do you think that the film industry is something that people should be going into right now, or is it something that maybe in a few years' time will get better as COVID sort of disappears? I'm gonna start with BADIR on that one.
I don't think anyone should get into the film industry anyway. Like, you know, you're not making a living making movies. So it's always going to be very difficult. So, you know, if you want to avoid difficulty in your life, you shouldn't make movies. So, you know, that's sort of the reality where I am as a filmmaker. COVID or not, doesn't really change anything at this point. Now, if you're asking how COVID changes Hollywood and the income generating films of the world, I don't really know. I think about it from time to time, and it's interesting to see, you know, there's not a lot of productions actually happening in the world.
Yeah,
so it's interesting to think about what that's going to mean in a year and a half when all these supposed films are supposed to come out.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously the films that were supposed to come out during this time have either been postponed or have just been released on Netflix or Hulu or some other streaming site right now. And the question goes to you as well, Caitlin.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that too. Like, there's never a good time to get into the industry, like, you know. But right now, like, everything's kind of in shambles. Everyone's trying to figure out, how are we going to do this? I mean, acting is something that's very intimate, so it's like you can't really shoot people in 2 different rooms. You know, you can only do so much. And so, like, I think a lot of studios and especially with the union, they're trying to make sure that actors are safe first and foremost. But there's only so much that you can do. I know that they're, you know, keeping people isolated for 5 days before coming to set, and then, you know, trying to limit the amount of people you have on set. But it's a really, really crazy time. And
so, are you in production?
Sorry?
Are you actually in productions right now?
Not currently, no. But because it's like, I don't know if I want to put myself at risk until things are a little better, especially like in the States and stuff, like you guys were talking about earlier, like the spikes and stuff. It's crazy. Like here, thank goodness we haven't had any cases for a little while now, you know, but it's not like that everywhere else. But if you're trying to get into the film industry, if you want to write or direct or act, like right now is a really great time to just like take online workshops, to do online courses, to start self-taping at home, you know, putting out your materials out there, building up your portfolio, because like right now things are kind of still, and when things pick up again, you can be like on top of your game, you know what I mean? Like stay ready so you don't gotta get ready, kind of thing.
Caitlin, I want to ask you like 3 very important questions. They're very serious questions. You can't laugh at these questions. All right, Caitlin?
3?
Yeah. So that's all. So I'm gonna give you. You ready?
Okay.
All right, man. What if one of your cast members had bad breath? Would you tell them, or would you just offer them Tic Tac?
Absolutely, I would tell them, and I would offer them a mint.
Especially if you're filming an elevator scene and you're all compact.
And they don't really TikToks on set. It's in the behind the scenes. So I wonder. Bad breath.
Caitlin, this is a very serious one. You ready for this? Second serious one. All right. You ready? I know you're in a relationship. Are you in a relationship, by the way?
Yeah.
Because I don't know what COVID caused during the last 3 months. I want to make sure.
It was recently my anniversary, actually. So.
Ah, boom! Happy anniversary. Now, I hope that he's going to forgive me for this question, but I have to ask it because you are an actor. Who would you want to be in a scene being entangled with? Like one of your favorite actors that you would want to be entangled with. Okay. And don't pick Will. That's easy. Don't pick Will or August.
Oh, let me think. I don't know. Who are some actors?
You don't like any of the male actors that are out there right now? I'm gonna start like naming people. Do you like Denzel? Do you have a thing for older men? If you weren't,
well, I love Denzel. I would love to do any scene with Denzel Washington. What's that guy's name? Oh geez, I'm really bad with names too. The guy from Insecure, who plays Lawrence.
I'm bad with names. Maybe these guys.
Well, he's a really great actor, and he gives a lot of energy to his scene partner. So I would like to work with him. Do
you think your boyfriend or is he your fiance or boyfriend?
Oh, boyfriend.
Would he be okay with you like doing romantic scenes in films? Because I know that's always like a tough question to answer.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been 7 years, so like he's been through a lot already. Yeah, and it was hard in the beginning, like when I first went to acting school in New York. But then I took him through step by step how we approach intimate scenes. And if you're on set, usually they would have like an intimacy coordinator, you know, and the shots would be listed on a shot list, like it's completely planned. And so I took him through some, what's it called, like some partner work that you would do, right? So it's like, can I touch your hand? Okay. Can I touch your face? Can I kiss you? Can I look into your eyes? And he's like, oh, this is so awkward. I'm like, yeah,
wow.
Exactly. Again, it's awkward. You know, it's really awkward to act like you have this deep connection with someone you're just showing up to work with. You know, it's not what people on the outside think it is.
There it is. And you know, to be honest with you, I was going to ask you because you said that you would do any scene with Denzel, but the one that really threw me off, like I don't know if Badir watched this or Rico, but I don't know if you guys have ever watched Halle Berry in Monster Ball. Mm-hmm. That one was a little bit intense. I think it was the most talked about film because Halle Berry actually won an Oscar for that, and that was her first Oscar. And the reason that there was a lot of criticism about that, because of course there was a romantic scene. I say romantic, that's a nice way of putting it, because if you guys were to watch it, it was a very aggressive romantic scene with her and Billy Bob. And they were in a room, and you could tell there were some points that they had the camera a distance away. So I've always wanted to ask actors, like, how do you prepare for let's just be real, we're adults here, for sex scenes, for romantic scenes, especially when you're in a relationship. I always wanted to know that. Like, is that something that you kind of have to be in a different space for? Like, how do you prepare for it? Like, and that goes for Badir and you, Caitlin, because I know if I was to be an actor and I have my wife in the corner watching me kissing the next woman, like, how do I pretend like I enjoy it but don't enjoy it at the same time?
Mm-hmm. If you want me to take it, I can take it. Or Badir, you can.
Go ahead, Caitlin.
Yeah. So first of all, I would not have him watch it because it wouldn't do anything other than put that image in his mind, and he doesn't need it. You know, but it is hard because not to say that like that doesn't happen. You know, like I had to go to Greece for something, and you know, a lot of crazy stuff happens, and people get in what do they call it again?
Entanglement.
I guess. No, it's called something like, it's basically like when you're in a project with someone. Anyway, and then they become your boyfriend on set, like your set boyfriend. Like people have their work boyfriend, their office girlfriends and stuff.
Yeah.
And look at Mr. and Mrs. Smith and Angelina Jolie, and you know, like
Yeah.
Sometimes that kind of stuff can happen, and it's hard because you want to get as close as you can to your partner. You want to be as comfortable. You want the chemistry. Chemistry is so important, and chemistry, you know, that's on like a chemical level. So it's like you don't want to be like pulling back in a scene because you're thinking about your boyfriend. But I think if you have like a strong foundation and you're constantly talking to them and the communication and stuff, it's fine. But what helped me just personally in my experience with it was literally just showing him how I go through it, how I prepare for a scene too. I'm like, hey, did you brush your teeth? You know, do you need something? Do you need a mint or whatever? You know, it's so like we're working. It doesn't get to that point for me.
And obviously you guys have like 10,000 people in the room as well that's watching you.
The guy with the boom is like,
yeah.
You know, I had a girl, she had to spray me with water so I could have like sweat, you know, like in between takes. It's work, and you want to do the best job because everyone on set is working hard. So
there it is. BADIR, I don't know if it's a compliment or a question, but I'm gonna put it out there. I love the fact that you had so many local people working on set with you. There's so many people to shout out. I know I saw Bruce. There were so many different individuals. Ben Hudson also was a part of this. Matt Brown was a part of this also. The list goes on. I don't want to forget anyone, and I know that you will shout each of your members out. There's probably too much to name. But, there's a 20, right?
Well, that, yeah, I think.
But BADIR, what I want to ask, because this seems to be very difficult, bringing people together, especially if there's no money being offered, how did you go about doing this? Like, how did you, and if there was money involved, like, how was this set up from start to finish? Because this is a big project for you. Even though it's 5 minutes, it wasn't 5 minutes to set it up. So how was the process for you setting this up?
Yeah, it took over a year to complete, although most of it was post-production, to be fair. But over the course of my career, I've been doing this for 8 years, I've come to realize I'm naturally a producer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what I do best. Better than directing, better than editing, maybe better than shooting. So I love putting things together. I don't know how or why, but to communicate with people and to call them up randomly, voice note them randomly, hit them up on the streets, Facebook them. This is happening. This is happening. You keep saying it over. It keeps coming out of your mouth. This is happening. We're doing this movie. We're doing this movie. And somehow it all comes together. But you know, Petra was with me from the very beginning too. So she was a part of the process. And I just love doing it, I guess, is how I get it done. With the help of a lot of other people who really love doing it too. Like everyone has doing it.
There it is. There it is. Love it, man. That's really good.
Yeah.
Wait, did you ask me 3 questions?
I did.
Oh.
There was 3 in there. But guys,
we could find another one, Caitlin.
No, I was like thinking like, what was this?
Caitlin, I got a next one, man.
Oh, God.
Hey, come on! This is the end of the show. We're gonna get last thoughts. Caitlin, you are an amazing actor. I'm not gassing you up because I can't act.
Oh, thank you.
So when I say that, that's just real. I see why you were picked to be the lead individual on this film because you're really remarkable, man. And I've always said that to people, even how you do public speaking, you could tell that you're meant for so much more, especially in media and creative arts. But I kind of want you to, I'm going to put you on the spot real quick. I want you to kind of like do a role, like kind of convince us of something, like maybe say something to us and make us believe it. Because I think you're just good at stuff like that. And I hope I'm not putting you on the spot too much. But maybe something, anything you want to say, maybe you can gas me back up or gas Rico, but actually say something that's false, but we believe it's true. How about that? This is gonna be good.
I don't know. This is put on the spot.
All right, yeah. I will make the director do it because he is going to recruit you for his next film. I want you, since it's the biggest trending topic, and BADIR, you have to agree with me if you're right or not. I want you to pretend like you're telling Rico about your relationship with someone else, kind of like what Jada and Will did. And I want you to explain to him how would you do that? How would you explain to Rico that you messed up, you cheated, and you were wrong, and you were also an entanglement. You can make up your own word if you want to, too. That's popular now these days.
Me or Badir?
So that's you. So you're gonna play this. You're gonna play the scene. Badir is just gonna sit back and see how good of a job you did or not. Enrico is your husband in this scene.
Okay.
Yeah. So, tell me what's up. You brought me here. What are we up to?
I just want to talk to you really quickly because I messed up.
How? What do you mean?
I got into a shebangle with your best friend and
Dane?
That's so good, man. Thank you, guys. That was good. I know you would be the only one that would be able to take that on because you're one of those people that you can just call on you to just say, hey, do this, and you would do it and just get it done, and you're a trooper. So thank you so much.
I don't know if it was grounded, but
it was good.
It was there.
This is the part of the show that we reach our last thoughts, and what we like to do in this segment is kind of like just for 30 seconds or 50 seconds, kind of speak to someone out there that's about to probably do a next short film, that's about to get into acting, that's going to be the next producer. What advice would you give them? And we could start. Let's start with Badir. Let's make Badir start one off.
Send me the script.
All right, Caitlin, what about you?
Just do it. There's always room for more. There's, whether you think you're gonna be repeating the same story or whatever, like that's what Hollywood is. It's just recycled, and people just keep it flowing. If it's a good story, just believe in yourself and keep pushing it, because if you don't believe in yourself, then fear is the biggest killer of any dream. So just do it.
For sure. And you know what? I actually have just one last question for both of you. I know this is getting time to wrap up, but we are all home right now, and we're probably all binge watching something, some show, something. We're just eyes glued to the TV, for me specifically. But what's your top 3 favorite, like either it's a movie right now that you're watching or it's a series? What's your top 3 right now on Netflix? I'm gonna start with Badir, because he looks like he's in the process of figuring out what series or movie he's up to right now. Top 3, the Badir, that anyone can watch right now. You guys are a director, she's an actress. What's something that's getting to your heart right now?
So the 3 that I picked, and this started with COVID, I dug deep into some World War II documentaries on Netflix, which were amazing. To see how much footage there is of World War II from around the world is insane. And that was almost 100 years ago, maybe 80 years ago. So to think that there were cameras, and the cameras were very new. They were only like 20 years old at that point. But to think for cameras only being, actually they were more like 50 years old. It's still pretty young though, to see how much footage. So that was a good one. I just finished watching Who Killed Malcolm X, which was really, really good. That's a documentary. Awesome. Learned a lot, loved it, researched a lot off of it. And then my third one's an old one, but I rewatched it during the COVID, and that's The Sopranos, my favorite show ever. In terms of anything, movie, whatever, Sopranos, my favorite show ever. The music, the direction, the acting, just everything, the writing. What an amazing series.
Dope. And Caitlin, what about you?
I mean,
top three okay. That you're watching right now.
I don't know if I give a top 3 because I do binge. So let me see. I'm always Star Trek. The Next Generation is always good. You can always pick up any episode and learn something. I like that didactic stuff. I also love Doctor Who. I love RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm watching RuPaul's Drag Race every week. I'm also deep diving again back into K-dramas because I love K-dramas. That's Korean dramas. So if anyone, if you want
How
to
do
see some,
you
like,
how do you like understand everything that's going on, or do you just
well, subtitles, and
I
if you know a little bit about like the culture too, then it's like, you know, you can understand the jokes that they're making and stuff.
Yeah.
So I just watched
online now, the Korean dramas. They get a lot of attention and a lot of people watch them.
Yeah, because everything, the stakes are so high, like they're so life or death. So it's like they're always ready to cry, and they give really powerful performances. So, I mean, that's okay, because I can keep going about.
I'm sure you could. And I know that they actually, I think it was Parasite that like really took over the Golden Globes last year. So big shout out to Korean movies right now, Korean film that's going on. I think my top 3 right now on Netflix that I'm watching is, I'm like a big conspiracy theorist head, and I'm always watching like some stuff that's going on in the background that nobody's talking about. So that is The Family on Netflix. That, and then I'm also watching this show called Snowpiercer. That's kind of like conspiracy stuff as well. And what's the last one? The Jeff Epstein documentary, which is mind blowing.
You seen it already?
Yeah.
That was good.
It's amazing. It's a lot. It's a lot that's going on that we don't know about. But anyway, I'm gonna hand it back over to Ian.
I felt like we wanted a little bit more. From that one.
Yeah.
But if you like sci-fi stuff, the 3% is really good too. But it's Portuguese, so you gotta read
Okay.
There it is.
Okay. They might have dubs.
I'll get on my Portuguese right away, Caitlin.
Huh?
I'll get on my Portuguese right away.
All right, man. That is well, I'll give my treat too. I'm loving this new one. It's weird. It's about these MMA fighters. Kingdom. I just started to watch it. It's pretty dope. Yeah, it's really, really good. Definitely enjoy it and stuck to it. Walking Dead, when it was on there, I fell in love with Walking Dead. And also,
you like the last season?
I didn't. For some reason, it's just not. It's been slowly dying in my mind right now. I feel like they're losing it a little bit.
Yep.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. The third one. Don't judge me for this, guys. Maybe you guys do love it too, but Narcos. Anything to do with Narcos, I'm a big fan. I actually feel like these guys are extremely brilliant. Like they're like, if they was to run any other company besides a cocaine business, they would actually succeed just the same. They're extremely intelligent. The only difference is you're not getting fired, you're getting killed. That's the whole basis around Narcos. But that's definitely one. If you want to go and check it out, you definitely get addicted if you're into those type of movies. Guys, listen, once again, thank you for coming to the Homeland Daily. We always say to all of our guests, this is episode 56. We've spoken to 56 different individuals, if you can believe it. And we always tell people, look, the best asset that you can give us is your time, because we really know that you really wanted to be a part of this and take part in this. So guys, thank you so much for being a part of this, and we really appreciate you. Easy Listening is now available on Facebook. It's streaming right now. You can go and check it out. Did you guys actually create a Facebook page for it? Because I watched it on one of the cast members' page. So Easy Listening is available on Facebook, right, BADIR? You can just search and find the page. Perfect. Exactly. Listen, you have no excuse. It's going to take 5 minutes of your time. So while you're done right now, go and watch it. And before we end the show, what I'm going to do is going to play, because we played it earlier, but we weren't live. So I'm going to play the trailer again for everybody that's in the live right now so you can see.
Oh my God, I know this is not good.
Do I look like a boy to you?
God, could you just stop? I didn't want to go to prom with you anyways, Brad.
I think movies and series and short films are all about us connecting, just like music, connecting with the individuals that are telling a story that we can either relate to or we wish we could be them. But there, I have to say, you did a wonderful job in capturing these individuals, and the actors were amazing. I would go out by saying that I wish this was a series that you created, because I wanted more. Like, I was thirsty for more. I was hoping it didn't end when you got into the small group session. I would have been happy if this was a full-on movie. That's how good it was produced, because I've always been the person that's been very real on platforms like this. I was scared when I was about to watch this, because I was like, I'm going to interview these individuals. How do I literally say to them if I was not feeling it, I didn't like it? And Rico knows me as that guy. Like, I would probably say that, but this was wonderful. I think my only negative feedback is I wish it was longer. I wanted more, but maybe that was intentional. I think that's what you guys was aiming for us to be thirsty for more. So thank you so much for providing that film, and thank you so much for you guys putting that together, because I know it wasn't easy.
Yeah, thank you too. And definitely the film was a lot longer. It was twice as long.
Oh, it was?
We did cut up a bit. And I think, I'm interested, one of the actresses have told me how she felt about it, but I haven't heard from the others, because they didn't know until they saw the final product, right? So, a lot of lines were cut. And I'm glad to hear that you said that you wanted more, because for me, that's what I want. And part of the reason why we cut a lot of the lines is because you don't want people to stop watching.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure, it can be a little longer, but if people stop watching, you've lost.
Yeah.
So if they can at least get to the end and want more, it's like, yeah, I'll take that over the other thing.
For sure.
Is, man. Well, we appreciate it.
I definitely think there could be an extended version.
Yeah, let's do it.
We want to see that.
The actresses always want more lines. I get it.
Before we leave, I want to be respectful. I just want to shout out, because we're about to end the show now. Can you guys just shout out the rest of the cast members that was a part, because they did a brilliant job. So can you just shout them out, whoever wants to take that role, and just give them some love, because they did brilliant. I love every single one of those cast members.
I love them too. Josefa, Wendy, and Teresa. Thank you all very much for being a part of the film. I love you all. I wish we could have talked about you more tonight. And I wish, I was trying to get them on, so like, I wish you all could be on so that people can hear your story. And maybe you all can do another episode. Of Street Girls.
Please.
That would be a great episode. I'm tweeting.
Yeah. Let's do it, man. I am on board for that. Let's set it up. We'll talk after about doing that, but I would love to get the rest of the cast members on. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of the Homeland Daily, episode 56. We'll see you again tomorrow, where we'll talk more about Happy Hour. And, of course, DJ Yo-Yo will be on, and he'll be playing music back-to-back for 45 minutes. So you're going to want to bring your drinks, bring your cooler, whatever you have. Just make sure you bring fun. You can have it in your living room, in your office, wherever you want to do it. It's going to be on the Homeland Daily. And if you missed the show, recap it on Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook. We love y'all, man. Thank you so much for being a part of the Homeland Daily.
Trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you.